Let's connect with Goddess Athena to set new goals, start a new chapter, learn new skills, and trust our wisdom. Welcome back to the Goddess Archetype series, connecting with your goddess. Today, we're diving into the energy of Athena, the goddess of wisdom, strategy, and creative skill. Athena shows up when something in you is curious, disciplined, and ready to grow. When you want to stretch your mind, sharpen your skills, and take strategic action in your life. If you're new here, check out my full video on Athena linked here, as well as my goddess overview video of all the archetypes and how they can help you in better understanding yourself and navigating change in your life. And also, if you don't know which archetype you are and you're curious, take the quiz linked in this description. You will find out which goddess archetype you need in this moment and some of the tools and practices you can use to connect with her and also to balance out some of her traits. And you get a Pinterest mood board, a full little article I've written about it, and some videos. So let's dive into Athena. So today we'll focus on some simple practices for you to connect with Athena and show you how I have connected with her over the last month or so. So a little bit about Athena. She was born fully grown and armored from the head of Zeus after he swallowed her mother Metis. That dramatic birth gave her her trademark qualities: intelligence, courage, and strategic thinking. She didn't rely on brute strength. She relied on her wisdom, skill, and planning. Athena archetypes often feel drawn to learning, so if that resonates with you, then you might have some Athena archetype in you. You may love books, creative pursuits, travel, or planning your next big move. But a lot of times Athenas can struggle and get stuck in their head. She's a very mentally oriented goddess, so it's really common to overthink and feel pressure to prove yourself intellectually. And this is the Athena challenge. How do we balance the pursuit of knowledge, skill, and strategy while staying connected to joy, curiosity, and personal growth? Athena shows up when you are starting something new, breaking away from tradition. So if you are feeling called to start a business or a new hobby or something that's just like different from the traditional way or how you were brought up or the people around you, then Athena can support you through that and is probably showing up for you. And it's also in starting, like, learning a new skill and a new way of being and a new creative hobby, just learning new things that change how you show up and what you're doing in your life. As you've been learning in the different goddess videos, each one has a different kind of flavor, where one can be really introverted or extroverted or more masculine, more feminine. So Athena is definitely on the more masculine side, and she's very logic-minded, single-minded, and so she can be very helpful for you if you have a lot of goals and you don't know which ones to take on. She, by connecting with her, will help you focus on the right thing for you at the right time. So if you're looking for support in planning your next steps, starting a new goal, or growing your career, your business, or just a new chapter in your life, she's also very motivated by being financially independent. So if that's coming up for you, then connect with Athena. And I'm going to take you along with me in this video, show you some ways you can connect, some of her symbolism, some of the practices, and just ways of connecting with her so that you can navigate change with courage and power. She is very wise and she seeks her wisdom from within. So if that sounds good to you, let's come along, connect with Athena. A symbol of Athena is the owl. So I was telling my cousin and her friend about this video, and they very sweetly got me this stuffed owl. And owls obviously symbolize wisdom, intuition, and they're really active at night. So connecting with the moon and overall just being very strategic and cunning and smart. So I recommend getting something to symbolize this part of yourself, like a stuffed animal, or maybe it's a piece of art, or even just the background of your phone, to remind yourself that you have this intrinsic knowledge and wisdom within you that will allow you to strategize your next steps. Like, you don't need to be searching outside of yourself. You have this. And I really like the stuffed animal because it's like a physical thing I can hold, and I honestly sleep with it in my bed. It is so, so cute. All right, so I am heading to the library now because Athena is really all about learning, the pursuit of new knowledge and philosophy. And I have to say, I took philosophy in college. Yeah, it was not my favorite, and I'm excited to approach it with a new lens and appreciation. So I have reserved the book The Republic by Plato at the library, and I'm gonna go pick it up and then also see if there's anything else that really catches my eye that is related to philosophy. And I will say that one book I read last year that was really impactful was Discipline is Destiny by Ryan Holiday. Yeah, Discipline is Destiny by Ryan Holiday. And it's all about philosophers and Stoics and their kind of approach to discipline and what makes discipline worth it. I highly recommend. But yeah, that's kind of like my first dipping in my toe, and I kind of like when someone translates for me what exactly is going on in that kind of like, old-timey language. I think that's like what puts me off it. I'm like, I can't, I'm using so much of my brain to try to understand what's even going on. So maybe I'll see if there's any other Ryan Holiday books. So come along, let's see what we have at the library. I honestly love the library, especially the one close to where I live. So I headed straight to the computer to find which section that I wanted to find more philosophy books on. And really, this is a lot to do with Athena, her nature, and understanding new ways of thinking and building character and wisdom. So I had a look at these nonfiction books in philosophy kind of topics and authors, and I honestly, as I mentioned, like, I'm not interested in ones that are written in a language that I can't understand. So I invite you to find new sources of knowledge that you can really integrate and understand. And so that's going to be different for you, what works for me, and use this as like your own self-study. And I've been seeing people call it, creating your curriculum of what you want to learn. So for me, I really want to learn character building ways of thinking and being in the world, and yeah, like to help myself live by my values more, and have that be more automatic. I know that everyone talks about live by your values, but a lot of the times it's like it's not very clear in the moment. So that's what I'm hoping to get out of these books that I'm searching for. So these were a bunch of inspiring books that I found, and I don't recommend taking out more than you can handle. That is something that I am working on with the ADHD brain that I have. But I will say my favorite out of all of these was Right Thing Right Now, Ryan Holiday. He just has a way of breaking down topics like, Greek philosophers and their kind of texts in a way that's really understandable, and he brings a lot of modern day examples in, and I find I learn a lot from his books. So, similar as to learning new things from books, I decided to start learning new ways of creating. So, I took this sketching class that was all about sketching at a coffee shop, and it's part of these kinds of groups called urban sketching. So, it's really just a great way to be more present and notice the world around you and create what you see. So we got all of these pies and we sketched this out, and it was awesome to learn from a teacher about the different techniques, the tools to use, and why you want to use them. And I gotta say, like, learning something new and creative just helps me to get out of like rigid ways of thinking, because it forces you to understand new things and see the world in a different way. So, if you're like me and sometimes like you get to this kind of place where you're like, I know a lot and like I don't need to learn more, I invite you to learn a creative skill. It will really force you to like let go of that belief and adopt a new one where you're just like open to new information and learning new skills. And it really builds confidence to build a skill and in all these different areas, so that your sense of worth isn't just tied to your work. And I'm just finding that in learning different skills, I'm able to just build confidence that I can start new things and I can take in new information and I can create from this place.
and and I allow the paints to mix.
And with that, I also started learning photography. I'm telling you, Athena really comes through when you decide to connect with her. Like, all these avenues of creativity just really opened up, and I am learning so much about like how to perceive the world and to be more present. So, if you're interested in creativity for this reason, I invite you to start a new skill in this area. Maybe go to a new group. This is a camera club that I went to, and it's all about going to different places and taking photos and doing that in community. So I think that Athena really learns best alongside people that are a little bit ahead of her. So if you find that you want to learn new things, you want to grow in certain ways, but it's not working on your own, then call on Athena to help you be around the people. She's all about being alongside people that are ahead of her or like know things, and then she can learn from them. And so, yeah, we went to this waterfall and we went to someone's farm to take photos that they invited us, and just like taking in the beauty and being with others that were teaching me like how to use the camera and what I should be looking for was so helpful, like more than any kind of course I've ever taken online. Is kind of like this being in person, in community, and learning and being open to adopting new ways of thinking and being. Finally, Athena is very worldly and she represents travel. So, especially travel to big cities, but really just traveling the world and being open to new cultures, new ways of being. I'm going to keep saying that, but that's really what it's about. And I went to Europe this summer and the UK, and it really just was very much such a growth experience. And I went to a lot of different places in 2 weeks that I feel like I just changed in each place, like based on who I was around and what I was learning, and just like trying on this new way of being. And from that, I came home and I was just so clear on like what my next steps are, like what do I value. It kind of gave me a sense of direction. So if you can use travel in that way, it can be really, really powerful. And I also want to share that a lot of times, like if you're not able to travel the world, then traveling and being a kind of tourist of where you live can have a similar effect. You can do a day trip or even a weekend trip and come back with like a new perspective because you just decided to put yourself in a different kind of environment, and your mind kind of opens up to what's possible like outside of your day to day. And I love travel for that reason. It's less for me about just like I feel like a different person when I come back, and I invite you to do the same and to call on Athena to help you. So Athena is also about learning new languages. I speak French, my family's from there, and I find that is also just such a skill that I value having, of like connecting with different people and it's like very empowering. So if you're feeling called to learn a new language, call on Athena to help you to do that. So as always in these videos, I'm sharing some affirmations here that will help you to connect with Athena and to adopt her qualities within your own life that I've shared today. Connecting with Athena reminds us that wisdom isn't just knowing, it's creating, observing, and acting strategy and insight. Through photography, sketching, travel, study, and goal setting, I've stepped into her energy, and I hope this was helpful for you to connect with her too. Remember, she embodies discipline, curiosity, and courageousness. Thank you so much for joining me. Remember to take the quiz linked in the description to find out which goddess archetype is showing up for you right now. And I will see you in my next video.